Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of
G'day and welcome back to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. It is truly appreciated. Don't know, but hopefully by this time I might have hit 500, but I am getting close to it. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. Help me hit that 500 mark. It would be truly appreciated. But of course, all my returning viewers, thank you very much for sticking with me as I get to that 500 mark, but also while I look at Franchise Fridays. That's right, every Friday I'm actually looking at a film from a particular franchise. This week we're looking at Phantasm 3, also known as Phantasm, Lord of the Dead. Now again, directed by doncoscarelli, the film actually stars Michael Baldwin, Reggie Bannister, Bill Thornbury, glorialynnehenry, kevinconners, and of course angusscrimm. Now, the plot itself, and there will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen any of these films, you have been warned. You know, go check them out. It's definitely worth it. Mike and Reggie continue to hunt down the mysterious tallman, discovering along the way the invasion has already begun. Now, this film continues the surreal and supernatural narrative that began with Phantasm in 1979. We're in 1994 now, so yeah, it's been going on for quite some time. It continued with Phantasm 2, which was in 1998, and now 6 years later, Phantasm 3. So they've had a bit of space between it, and just like its predecessor, Phantasm 3, it maintains that unique blend of horror, science fiction, and fantasy elements thrown in, and it contributes to its distinctive and, I guess, enduring appeal amongst fans of the genre. Now, one of the things I notice when I'm discussing the cast of a franchise film, we are going to have our core characters that are in each film. You've got, for example, Reggie Bannister. You've got angusscrimm. You have Michael Baldwin and Bill Thornbury returning as Mike and Jody. And look, it's great to see the original cast all together again, but I kind of feel like we need to look at some of the other cast members. Now, like I said, it was great to see Michael Baldwin return, and his evolving connection to the tallman was great. It was fantastic to see Bill Thornbury back. But the issue with the franchise is with the core cast, and that really won't change too much. So I'm going to look at the new additions to the cast member, and one that should be mentioned in each one. So the two new additions, we've got Rocky and Tim. Now, they both inject a fresh perspective into the narrative, and they add a layer of emotional depth to the overall story. They both have a very different relationship with Reggie, obviously, and it makes it kind of like a very little dysfunctional family. One thing I did note about Reggie, though, is I found his character was moving more towards comedic relief in this film, and it takes him away from being that everyman hero that he was in the second film. This felt more like an Evil Dead 2 Ash Williams take on his character. And it's not a bad thing, but it does affect the overall tone of the film. The other thing I noticed was the forgotten cast member, and that's the Cooter. You can't forget the Cooter now. Like, the Cooter is a mainstay in this series, so props to the Cooter. Now, directing and writing is going to be very similar to the cast. doncoscarelli. He wrote and directed pretty much all these films. So, look, he does maintain the series' signature blend of horror and surrealism, and he does have a real knack for using some inventive camera work, and that contributes to the film's eerie and unsettling atmosphere, which permeates through the entire series. However, I will notice one thing with the editing. There was a scene involving one of the spheres, now known as sentinels, where you could see the crew in the reflection. Now that will come into the effects as well, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it. The writing in this one really stands out to me as it expands on the reasoning behind the tallman, and it offers glimpses into his otherworldly motivations and the nature of the supernatural forces at play. This added layer of complexity contributes to the overarching narrative, and it introduces new mysteries to keep the intrigue alive. It's not just them going to cemeteries and abandoned towns. We see where the tallman lives, for lack of a better term, and where he does his work. So I really did enjoy those aspects of it as well. It's one of the strengths of the series in its ability to expand on the series' mythology. Now, I did mention the addition of humour in this one, and look, while Phantasm 3 successfully builds upon the foundation laid by its predecessors, by injecting the humour, it may be perceived as tonally inconsistent or bordering on camp. And that was kind of a worry to me, because I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed the second one as well, and the first one. Moving it too far from where it began to a more comedic tone, it just didn't sit well with me. But look, the film's willingness to embrace the darkly comedic tone at times, like I said, it may not gel with all viewers, but for fans of the series, it does add an extra layer of charm and uniqueness. Like I said, for me, it didn't quite sit right, and it just felt off, and it felt a little forced. Now, the effects. In terms of special effects, Phantasm 3 maintains the franchise's reputation for innovative and imaginative visuals, contributing to the film's eerie atmosphere and otherworldly tone. As the years have passed, the effects have improved more and more. The creatures the tallman employs as his minions, we see them now more than ever, and they look suitably deformed and gruesome. We see the tallman and how he creates the sentinels and the dwarf creatures as part of his army, and we see that in full force. Like, we see it laid out bare on a table in front of us. You know, the opening scenes where you see a close-up of the dwarfs' faces, deformed creatures, like, they look good. The spheres, or as they're now called, sentinels, we can't have a Phantasm movie without it's become commonplace for a sentinel to hit someone in the middle of the head, drill into their brain, and we see that happen a couple of times. But we see it in the first, one of the first acts, I think, bang, straight in there. There's no waiting about, it's straight in, brain drilling. Now, the filmmakers do wisely choose to rely on practical effects rather than just CGI, which was coming to its fore in 94. They do use CGI a couple of times in this, but they try and minimize it because obviously it's a new technology back then. It was probably more expensive. So the fact that they choose to use practical effects over CGI is a decision that enhances the film's overall aesthetic and contributes to its timeless quality. The CGI they use, it doesn't look great. And that is because CGI back then, like I said, it was just coming out. I'm glad they chose to go just with practical most of the time with this, because it just contributes the enduring legacy amongst horror enthusiasts with this film. Rewatchability. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead maintains a high level of rewatchability for several reasons. It's got these atmospheric qualities, the character development, the expansion of the Phantasm mythos, genre blending, and a nostalgic appeal collectively all contribute to an experience as enjoyed on multiple viewings. Now, while the film may not be for everyone due to its unconventional narrative and surreal visuals, those who appreciate the unique flavour of the Phantasm series will find this one to be a rewarding and enduring cinematic journey. For me, whilst Phantasm 2 was always the one that I went to growing up, to me this has become one of my favourites of the entire Phantasm series. It not only expands the Phantasm universe as they did with the second one, but it's just got a I don't know, it's got a certain je ne sais quoi, or whatever you want to call it. It's got a certain element to it that resonates. And I know I've used that term a lot, but it does. There's something about this film that I really do enjoy. Overall, Phantasm 3, or Lord of the Dead, is a worthy continuation of the Phantasm saga, offering a satisfying mix of horror, fantasy, and mystery. It successfully expands the series' mythos and stays true to its roots, delivering an atmospheric and engaging experience for the fans of the genre. Now, while it may not be as widely recognised as some of its horror contemporaries or the Phantasm series in general, I think Phantasm 3 in particular remains a cult classic that continues to captivate audiences with its surreal and otherworldly storytelling. Now, I deliberated a really lot with the score for this one. I do enjoy this film, and it used to be my favourite out of the entire series. However, on repeated viewings, I think it's equal to Phantasm 2 for me. So overall for a score, this one gets an 8 out of 10. There you have it. Thank you very much for sticking with me as we get through the Phantasm series. So we've done the first 3, we've got 4 coming up next week, and then the 5th one. That'll be an interesting one, but who knows what we'll look at next. Yeah, it could be another one. I'm looking forward to it. I know what I've got coming up, so I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it too. If you haven't already, please do like the video, subscribe to my channel for future content, be much appreciated. Hit that notification bell so you do know when I release a review. Like I said, it's happening every Friday. Pretty obvious, but hey, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. I do have a few other things that are coming up in the pipeline. Of course, you know, I might have already hit 500 by now, I don't know, but if I haven't, hooray. If I have, hooray. If I haven't, well, I'm sure I'll get there, and hey, help me out by subscribing, be much appreciated. Anyway, I'm carrying on, I'm blathering on. It's a hot day over here in Australia, so I'm gonna go cool down with a nice cold beer. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.